So first, thanks for everybody who came to support me. It's my first full, half an hour reading. So we're both from Israel, and mostly what I write is about my connection to Israel, what's happening in Israel right now, politically, Israel in Palestine, my great pain about it, and the confusion of living in the United States with anti-Semitism going on. So what I'm going to, basically, I'm going to try and tell, I would say it's even Amos and my story together. I think, as I know, Amos in Hebrew, is similar sentiment that he has. And I want to thank also Amos for really joining me in this. And because it's a little bit like a story, because I'm going to really kind of read a little bit from childhood, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, it would be best if we don't clap in between. And Amos will be connecting from between points. He's going to bridge the points. And also I want to apologize, it's not going to be funny. So I am telling you ahead of time, I don't have sense of humor in the business, so I apologize. Useful. It's my feet that are marked with the imprint of the land. They carried me with an obedience of a uniformed body, though I was not one to be modeled after as a fine specimen of a soldier. But my feet were. They took me to the places my reckless mind commanded, bare or shewed, the feet obedient to my living in a love affair. Land, feet, recklessness, obedience. Truth, I thought. Of winter, my feet squished onto the soaked shoes filled with first rain. Water, the cherished commodity pooled in the murky puddles of uneven sidewalks. The galoshes stayed dried at home, waiting for an opportunity to be useful. I mean, a small new country needed us to be useful, always, and we were. Usefully knowing names of trees and birds, geographical details we collected in homeland classes, skillful recitation of poetry in memorial ceremonies. Mostly feeling at home, cozy with all that's familiar and is just ours, I thought. All that my feet introduced me to as they carried me through remains of cultures, stones told stories of 2,000 years, 1,000 years, 500 years, 20 years old stones, The young and exotic stones became homes to new inhabitants. There were no ghosts, I thought. My feet loved the sea, the one they wanted to drive us into so we disappear. The sharp edges of seashells, a reminder, but I laughed. And that was useful, to believe we will not disappear. We are still sunning on the shores of the sea, decades later, laughter mired in the perpetual war, but our presence is useful. Injustice. Carolina Al-Tuani. On Yom Kippur, we say, for the sins we have committed against you by resorting to violence, for the sins we have committed against you by greed and oppressive interest, for the sins we have committed against you by plotting against others. Friday. A pot filled with soil from a Miracle-Gro plastic bag holds the creeping Jenny which adorns it, a dress with its matching scarf trailing green leaf after green leaf, a Carolina patio, 6,000 miles from Al-Tuani village, a day after Yom Kippur. The water hose bursting with pressure, spraying its abundance as each leaf bows engorged green, joining its sisters in a parade of beauty, 6,000 miles from Al-Tuani, a day after Yom Kippur. Friday. An email bridges 6,000 miles in one click. A water transport to South Hebron Hills, Al-Tuani, the village, awaits water from a tank clouded by dust. The southwest wind sees not the absence of abundance. 6,000 miles from Carolina, a day after Yom Kippur. The imprisoned water locked in the shining tank, adorned with green and black banner, access to water for all, a vision, a plea, an impossible demand in South Hebron Hills. Water is permitted Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Today is Friday, the day after Yom Kippur. I sink into the green of the Carolina patio, hiding in the humidity of shame, 6,000 miles from Al-Tuani, the Friday after Yom Kippur, for the sins we are committing against you, my mama.